So as of recording this, early access for Mortal Kombat 1 has been released, and with it, of course, the full story mode. There is a lot to talk about with this story mode, and it would be impossible for me to cover everything in it. I'm pretty confident that Dominic Cianciolo was the lead writer here, and I can confidently say, for the most part, I am pleasantly surprised with Mortal Kombat 1's story mode. Yeah, there are a few things that I have a problem with, but we'll get to those. Now, before we get started, make sure that if you enjoyed this video, go check out some of my other videos, and if there's anything you want to see me cover in a video, let me know down in the comments below, and if I make a video about it, I'll give you a shout out. And don't forget to join my Discord, a link to that will be in the description below, and I want to thank all of you so much for the support you showed my first live stream the other day. It was a lot of fun, and I'd love to do another one sometime in the future. Now, of course, there are spoilers, so this is my spoiler warning. If you haven't played through the story mode and don't want to be spoiled, don't watch the rest of this video. And with all that out of the way, let's get into the video. Now, right off the bat, I'm going to be completely honest with you guys. I really like this story mode, and this is coming from a guy who really didn't like Mortal Kombat 11 story mode. I watched the full story mode in one sitting, and I really liked it. I'm not saying it's perfect. I'm not saying it's the best game in the series. I think Deception is safely ensconced in that position. But overall, the things that I liked overshadowed the things I didn't like, but those things I didn't like are really hard to ignore. The biggest problem I have with the game is completely to do with the final act, and I feel the story mode completely falls apart and falls off a cliff when the final act begins. From chapters 1 through 12 are great. I really love the story mode through those chapters. It's from chapters 13 to 15 that I don't like. Now, let's start off with the negative first, because I want to end this video on a positive note. So let's just get straight into it. I do not like the ending. Let's start with chapter 13, which is in my opinion the beginning of the downfall of the story. Chapter 13, Deadly Alliance, of course follows Shang Tsung and Quan Chi, and first off, I want to say I do not like the voice actor for Shang Tsung. I understand that they couldn't get Tagawa to come back, and if I'm being honest, I think Tagawa will unfortunately never be in anything Mortal Kombat again, ever. Like, the voice actor doesn't try to give his own take on Shang Tsung like the Mortal Kombat 9 one tried to do, and the voice actor is serviceable. I'm not trying to bash him, but I feel he's just trying too hard to be like Tagawa. It's very hard to be as good as Tagawa when you're portraying Shang Tsung. Ronald M. Banks, the guy who played Quan Chi in Mortal Kombat 9 and Mortal Kombat X, is the definitive version of the character for me. He perfectly encapsulates the scheming demon that Quan Chi is. He is the definitive version of Quan Chi, like how Tagawa is definitive version of Shang Tsung. And this new guy just cannot play Quan Chi like Banks can. It's as simple as that. But this chapter as a whole is basically just Aftermath Part 2. It's basically just a new flavor of Shang Tsung's chapter in Aftermath. In this chapter, Quan Chi and Shang Tsung kill Shao Kahn and Dark Reiko. Yeah, the dark characters. Turns out both endings to Mortal Kombat 11 Aftermath are canon. And when Shang Tsung from Aftermath, the one who killed Liu Kang at the Hourglass, confronts Liu Kang, the one from Mortal Kombat 1, he brings these dark characters with him to fight the characters from Liu Kang's timeline. Yeah, it's confusing. These dark characters are the most boring things I've seen in my life, and so is Reiko. His whole personality is war, and it's the only fucking thing he talks about. They are literally just evil versions of the good characters, that's it. They have no personality, they are just there to fight the good characters from Liu Kang's timeline. I mean, fuck. At least the Revenants had actual motivations and reasons for hating Raiden. These dark characters have no reason to follow Shang Tsung except just for being minions. Also, Shao Kahn, or General Shao as he's known as in this game, fucking sucks. He doesn't win a single fight because of the chapter system, so how the hell can we take him seriously? He loses to Raiden, Sindel, and Shang Tsung. Anyway, after the two kill Shao Kahn and Reiko, we start the next chapter. Chapter 14, Time of Death, Liu Kang. I need to give a bit of context before going forward. Liu Kang needs to get other people to help him, so he tracks down other timelines where the Keeper of Time wasn't him. To do this, he needs to take back his role of Keeper of Time and give up his title as Protector of Earthrealm. He gets the other Keepers of Time from different timelines, and they are Kung Lao, Raiden, Kitana, and Geras. Unfortunately, Richard Epcar doesn't reprise his role as Raiden in this game, but it doesn't bug me as much because he wouldn't be back for a long time. So they go off and fight Shang Tsung's forces after he's done the same and got the evil versions of the Keepers of Time. Shang Tsung tries to destroy the Hourglass, but they manage to stop him, and of course he escapes. You got that? Okay, good. Honestly, I don't have that much of a problem with this chapter as much as I do with 13 and 15, but I still have one. Because there's all these other Keepers of Time, it kind of diminishes Liu Kang's achievement of beating Kronika and taking the Hourglass. And how many Kronikas are there that she fought all of these other people who became the Keeper of Time? Or is it just one Kronika that keeps returning over and over and over again? And the next and final chapter is chapter 15, Armageddon. This one is just stupid, in my opinion. I'm not going to get too into it because it's just the Battle of Armageddon Part 2 with a bunch of fanfiction characters, that's it. And the post-credit scene really worries me because it teases Havoc as the next game's villain, which I would be really excited for, but he has a bunch of henchmen that are just all these fanfiction type characters that I mentioned a moment ago. And that's really all the negative things I have to say about the story mode, except some stuff about Reptile, but we can talk about that another time. But one more thing is the tournament section of this game. It goes by way too fast, and they skip a bunch of fights that are just mentioned, and the tournament now has no stakes because there's no 10 tournament invasion plot anymore, so what's the point of the tournament anymore? And those are the only things I don't like about the story mode that I'm going to talk about in this video anyways. And now I can finally get to the things I actually like about the game. In my opinion, the best thing about this story is mostly the characters, mainly the main ones. The first thing I want to say is how they handle Liu Kang. I love Liu Kang in this game, and I'm going to say it right now. This might be the best Liu Kang that's been in any Mortal Kombat game ever, period. I'm not gonna get too into it because I'm saving it for another video, but he is so good in this game. He's like an actual teacher to Raiden. Before the tournament, Raiden says he's nervous, and Liu Kang gives him advice like how a coach would give a fighter advice before a fight. Liu Kang is actually competent in this game, unlike how Raiden was at times in Mortal Kombat 9, X, and 11. Another thing I love about this game is Bi-Han. I am so happy that NetherRealm did not go with the misconception that Bi-Han is this misunderstood, innocent guy, and that they instead went with this brooding, menacing version of Bi-Han. Bi-Han is not a good person. This guy is an actual asshole who doesn't care about anyone except him and the Lin Kuei. This is shown through him accepting the offer from Shang Tsung to join him, and the Lin Kuei would become much more powerful. He even betrays his brother Kuai Liang so he can do this. It shows the selfishness of Bi-Han, and it's nice to see Bi-Han actually interact with his brother, since the last time we saw that was in a one-panel flashback back in one of the Mortal Kombat 4 comics. The relationship between Johnny Cage and Kenshi is really well done in my opinion. They start off as almost rivals, but when Kenshi is blinded, Johnny genuinely cares for Kenshi and helps him through everything, and it feels like a natural progression. It doesn't feel forced at all, and I really like it. Kenshi's backstory with the Yakuza is really interesting, and Johnny Cage is, of course, as good as ever. But one character I really want to talk about is Mileena. Mileena is handled so well in this game, and I think this is the best portrayal of her in any NetherRealm Mortal Kombat game ever, and I think maybe you could argue she's better than some of the Midway depictions. I like the Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde take that they were going with, where at any moment she could turn into a ravenous Tarkatan form, and I love it. I'm not going to talk too much about her because I'm planning a video where I talk entirely about Millie in this game, so look out for that sometime in the future. And another thing I love is this experimental, like cold-blooded parts of Shang Tsung's character finally coming back. The scene where Johnny, Kung Lao, Baraka, and Kenshi are in the dungeons and you can see all the experiments Shang Tsung has been doing is so fucking cool to me, and I love that they brought that part of his character back because that's something we haven't really got to see in a long time. And I'm so happy that the Flesh Pit stage is back. For the longest time, I was worried we'd never get to see the Flesh Pits return, and it would just be a one-and-done stage, but I'm so glad it came back in this game and that it looks so good, and in my opinion, much better than the original scene in Mortal Kombat 9. The drama between General Shao and Sindel is really intriguing to me, and I wish we got to see a bit more of it. And Raiden and Kung Lao's relationship is done very good. It genuinely feels like they're brothers, and I love how it starts off in the farm. And speaking of Raiden, I think there being only one fighter representing Earthrealm is better than them having an entire team like in Mortal Kombat 9. It adds more stakes and more pressure on that fighter for them to pull through, even if in this game there's no 10-win invasion plot point. And I am so happy that they finally, after all these years, brought the King Jared Ermac storyline to fruition. I have wanted to see that storyline in a game for a long time, and it's really heartwarming to seeing Mileena, Kitana, and Sindel finally see King Jared again, and it makes Sindel's death so much more impactful that she dies in Jared's arms, finally being reunited with him after all these years. And so that's about it. There is a lot that I am leaving out in this video because we would be here all day if I was to talk about all the things I did and didn't like about this story. I could have talked about how much I love Smoke and Scorpion and Bihan going on missions together. I could have talked about how they missed a massive opportunity with bringing Onaga back, how they wasted Havoc, how much I like Johnny Cage. I think you get my point. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to go check out some of my other videos, and if there's anything you want to see me cover in a video, let me know down in the comments below, and if I make a video about it, I'll give you a shout out. Let me know what you guys think of the story down in the comments below, and don't forget to join my Discord, a link will be in the description below. Thank you all so much for watching this video, and I will talk to you all later. Thank you.